How can high testosterone in women causes them to actually increase hair, but high testosterone in men causes us to decrease in hair? Doesn't make sense, but I'm gonna show you what does. I am AQBS, and this is Back to the Barber. If this is your first time on this channel, I help men get their high school hairline back naturally, no matter the scale of loss. Whether you are here to maximize, maintain, and or manufacture new hair, the algorithm has led you to the right place. Why so? Because I am one of the few documented cases of a person reversing being totally bald for over a decade using simple tools and natty foods. I basically cure balding in the kitchen, and I'm going to teach you how to do the same thing. Today's primary topic: high testosterone does not cause hair loss, seconded by other relevant information and commentary. So let's get started. You hear this all the time. You have to bring down your testosterone because that's what's causing hair loss. Even I have a theory called the alpha and omega theory. And what this says is that the further you are close to the alpha scale, Norwood 7, the worse your hair is, or the most hair loss you will have. And if you are on the omega scale, then you have better, fuller hair, and you will be something in the Darwin, which is the opposite of Norwood 7 scale. And that's the women that you see have, this luscious hair that's going down their back, that they have to, cut it all the time, and it's very heavy, and they don't really have to do too much to it, right? No products or anything, just kind of keep it washed, add some oils, and every so often they're good to go. What we're saying about testosterone is actually what we're saying about DHT, and I'm going to give you a few examples of that. As a matter of fact, if you think of in your head right now women with the most hair, and you're probably going to go look for the hair east, right? India, and you might look at like Thailand or things of this nature, right? Where these women hair are so long and thick, right? And all they use is rice water, maybe inside of their hair. They don't do a lot of stuff like the West does. But here's the ironic part about them. Have you ever noticed that those Indian women a lot of times would have a tad bit of facial hair? Not everyone, right? But you would notice that a lot of them that have this great hair, they have a very, very small forehead line. Number one, the hair is on their forehead. The sides, the temples are filled all the way in. And then you would notice they have like a little bit of sideburn hair. And then if you look on the back of their necks, they'll have a lot of hair coming from there too. Those are the ones with the strongest hair. A lot of times those are the ones where you get the wigs and stuff from. That type of hair. Now, if you look at Thailand, things of this nature, same exact problem. I don't really call it a problem, but you would notice that they would have this very small forehead. They would have this like the little sideburns a little bit. They have the little neck hair. Feminine, but it's extremely hairy. And then you will also notice that on the Indian side, they will have more, arm hair. They will have more leg hair. In Thailand, not so much, but they'll have like the very omega-like scalp. What am I getting to? What I'm saying is that if a woman growing facial hair is a sign of high testosterone, because that's what it is, then how does high testosterone make the best omega type of conditions for very long, thick, luscious hair? But at the same time, high testosterone makes men lose their hair, but also grow facial hair. Think about it. It makes the woman grow facial hair, right? Sideburns, a little bit of mustache, etc., and neck hairs, right? Arm hairs. But then it turns around and it makes the man have that same thing, but obviously a lot more. But then it turns around and takes off his scalp hair. And if you do any studying on hair growth, you would know that what is taking the villus hair, or what I would call an unfertilized hair, right? It's like kind of like an egg of the follicle, and the follicle is feminine. But what actually, just like a male and a female dynamic, what actually causes a woman to be fertilized or a plant to be fertilized? It is the male aspect of the plant. So therefore, that the follicle's villus hair needs to be fertilized by the environment of the scalp, and that fertilization, right, would tend to some sort of hormone, a growth hormone, and testosterone plays a part in that. So how can high testosterone cause hair loss? It does not. Men 200 years ago and 300 years ago had more testosterone than we do now. Less plastics, better food, more physical activity, more everything that you would have to do in your daily life in order just to get by. You had to walk more, you had to lift more, you had to do more, and that increased testosterone. Not even counting the fact that we didn't have the TVs and the cars and things of this nature, 200, 300 years ago and all the way back, and the diet. So men had more testosterone back then and more hair. And when you saw men that did not have a great amount of hair, it was because they were aged. And if they were not aged, you will also notice they were bald, but they had other problems going on in their body as well too. So that hair loss at youth stood for sickness. But notice all of the ancient movies that we have, all those men, although obviously it's a movie, had hair, right? And then the ones that did not have the hair were much older. So testosterone, and even high testosterone, does not cause hair loss. What causes hair loss is inflammation and acute follicle stress. So you don't even have to have inflammation, but you have to have acute follicle stress. You can get it through cortisol, you can get it through some sort of shock treatment, you can get it through radiation, you can get it through a parasite, a pathogen. Anything that causes the follicle to have a high stress, acute and chronic, causes it to lose its child, which is the hair, even the villus hair, right? High testosterone does not cause hair loss, because it does not cause hair loss when women now DHT, and when they have imbalances and problems going on and DHT is increased because of some sort of immune response, obviously then they'll get hair loss. But they don't get hair loss because they have high test. The women with high testosterone have more hair than the women who do not. So with that stated, what you're doing when you are inhibiting 5-AR is stopping it from turning to DHT, which is a steroid. And you know what needs a steroid? Inflammation and sickness. DHT is a medicine. It is a super soldier of the immune system that causes hair loss, not because it wants to, but because it's stopping inflammation, and it causes this domino effect where you get all the way down to fibrosis and calcification. And that's what it is. You can get strong in the gym if you don't use, let's just say, human ingenuity products such as steroids and things that turn the body into a DHT production factory, then you'll be fine, right? But remember, modern society causes a little bit of this DHT problem, and especially if you're stressed out constantly, you're not meditating, your diet is not where it's going to be, you already have more DHT or more medicine being converted from testosterone than the average man 300 years ago. So if you are balding, then it makes sense, but it is not from high testosterone. However, the more testosterone you have and the more inflammation you have, you got a bigger bucket for the body to turn that to medicine because it thinks you're sick. So that's my video for today. Hopefully something here has helped you to halt hair loss and or restore. If so, hit the like or subscribe. If not, give another video a chance. I am pretty sure you'll find something interesting. But if I can do it, you all can do it too. Let's get you back to the barber.